Welcome to 0 to 60.
I'm Matt McChesney. I am the owner and operator of 6-0 Football Academy and 6-0 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado from 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of football.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We are at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much.
All right. 0 to 60. We're rolling. All right, happy Monday. We are into game week for Texas Tech here on 0 to 60. It is a beautiful Monday out there, a little football weather for everybody here in the Mile High City. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. Bailey's on the ones and the twos. We have an unbelievably good show for you today. Offensive line coach at the University of Colorado, a good friend of mine, Coach Phil Lho, will be joining us here shortly after we get some business taken care of and get the bills paid on a Monday. We roll in, and we got a lot to talk about. So, baby, let's go.
It's going to be a great show today. The show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, NHL to entertainment, and even political props, head on over there. Head on to over to BetOnline today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here. The show is also brought to you by Cherubundy. Cherubundy provides you with a natural product with no added sugars, featuring tart cherries, which are the highest antioxidant fruit or vegetable in the world. Every NFL team uses Cherubundy. 10 out of the last 11 Super Bowl champions and 66 out of 67 Power 4 conference football teams. Big Matt, we are here on this fine Monday. We have a great show, and let's not waste any time. Our special guest is here and ready to go, so I can't thank him enough for joining. This is our special guest is a product of Fountain Fort Carson High School in Colorado. He's a Garden City JUCO product. Played at Oklahoma, and he also coached with the legendary Bill Bedenbaugh at Oklahoma, but now he's the offensive line coach at Colorado. And as you can see, this year, Colorado's run game has been very impressive. We can't thank him enough for joining. Colorado offensive line coach Phil Lho. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining. How are you doing?
No, I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys.
What's up, Coach? How are you, brother? And I don't know how many years in the league, but it's a lot. I don't know how you can forget that part of the intro there. But look, we have a lot to talk about here today on the show, Coach. Thanks for taking the time out. I know you guys just came off your second bye week. That's a rarity, too. 2 bye weeks is pretty crazy. I can't remember the last time I saw that. But look, I'm sure the morning's practice was eventful, as it always is. Just talk about getting back to work this week as we get ready for Texas Tech and how excited you are, to get back to work after another bye.
Excited, man. Very excited. Like you said, 2 bye weeks is not usual. So, we did some things different this time. Didn't really leave work. We practiced all last week. Had a chance to get after it. Got the young guys some reps in practice. And, getting back to it this week. Excited to have another good week. Headed down to Lubbock. Now,
Coach, look, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Fountain Fort Carson, that's a football factory. And that's your stomping grounds from high school. They put out a lot of offensive linemen. Colorado, you being a proud Colorado high school guy. I went to high school in Colorado as well. I mean, what does it mean to get your first offensive line coaching job in your home state, coming back home where you got roots, and then also to obviously be working for a guy like Coach Prime up at the University of Colorado? Just what does that mean to you, bro, getting that first opportunity back here at home?
Yeah, man, it means everything. Like you said, being from here in Colorado, my parents still live 2.5 hours down the road in Fountain. It just worked out perfect. And being able to work for Coach Prime, Hall of Fame coach. I mean, it couldn't have got any better. It couldn't have been a better situation for me with this being my first job.
Now, let's talk about, how you got that first opportunity. Bill Bedenbaugh is the GOAT. All right, Coach, you obviously have played for the man. You obviously coached under the man at the University of Oklahoma, and I think he does one of the best jobs in college football at developing and identifying talent. And look, I find it no surprise this year. We've been talking about it for months since you got hired as the offensive line coach, that this group was going to improve by almost 2.5 yards a carry. We'll be averaging 4 yards a carry. We're going to run the ball more. It's going to be a super physical group like you saw the development in Oklahoma. That's going to be coming to Boulder. Just talk about what Coach B has meant just in your growth as a player, as a coach, just all around the importance of having a guy like that in your life. You know, another famous Oklahoma Sooner, Chris Wilson, was my defensive line coach the whole time I was at CU. So, you know, the importance of having a guy like that in your life as a young coach, as a young player, just what has Coach B done to help you grow as a coach and then pass that on to your guys, dog?
Nah, Coach B is great, man. But real quick, I didn't play for Coach B at Oklahoma.
Oh, you didn't play for Coach B? Okay, not bad.
I was there right before him, but we've been good friends ever since I left. I left in 2008, and he got the job like shortly after. So every time I came back, whether it was a bye week, spring game, you know, whatever it is, we always hung out. Me and him are big UFC fans, so we always hung out in Vegas together. We always talked ball, and then when I got the opportunity to coach with him, I mean, it was unbelievable. Like you said, the talent that he's put in there, the culture that he's built there. I'm trying to emulate a lot of the things that he did there here. So, you know, our families are friends, our kids are friends. Like he's an unbelievable coach, and very grateful for the time that I've known him for. It's been a long time.
And look, the development of talent. You know, Coach B hangs his hat on it. Oklahoma hangs their hat on it. I know that, you know, playing for a guy like Eric Bieniemy in Minnesota and, you know, being blocking for Adrian Peterson and everything that he brought to the table, that culture of physicality you've been bred into your whole life, being, you know, just from the foundation of football until the day you retired, bringing that now to these guys in Boulder. Like it is good to see, bro. Like you guys line up and you are smashing people now. Vertically, you're getting after it. There's an attitude. Just talk about the growth of this unit so far, Coach. Like, you know, there's a lot of haters and a lot of doubters at the beginning of this year, and you guys have just kind of shrugged it off and gotten better and better and better each week. And I know that the growth of an offensive line is tough, but when you have success consistently like you guys are having, just talk about how much fun it is to coach a group like that, man. It seems like they're real hungry.
No, it is, man, and it starts every day in practice. You know, Coach Prime, he's not afraid to mix things up in practice. You know, and it's not the mundane. Everything's the same every day. I mean, they don't know what they're going to get. In our defensive line, we go at it every single day, the coaches included. So it's a great atmosphere. The guys are buying into it. We got a long way to go. I still feel like we're leaving a lot of stuff out there on the field, and it's my job to get that corrected. But, you know, just the way that they've practiced and continue to practice, as you said, it takes a while to build that camaraderie. And, you know, we're not there yet by any means, but they're getting better. And we're going to put together another great day of practice tomorrow and another day after that and you know, not get bored with the process. And it's just been a lot of fun seeing them develop. And then, like I said, we got a long way to go. We leave some stuff out there, and we're going to get that fixed.
Yeah, process is usually the prize, at least for every good offensive line that I've ever been around. Bailey, I know you got some questions, too, for Coach, so spit one out. Let's get rolling.
Coach, I can't thank you enough for joining. One thing I wanted to ask you about Jordan Seaton, just your thoughts on his development since he arrived in Boulder and then his play throughout the first 8 games and how he's developed this season.
Oh, yeah, man, very impressive. Obviously, everybody knows that he's a physical specimen, right? But the thing that impressed me the most about him, you know, since he's been here is the way he attacks the meeting room. You know, he asks great questions. He always locked in, you know what I mean? And he's just been great from that aspect. You don't see too many young guys coming out of high school, you know, with his knowledge of football and willingness to learn more. So that's been a really good thing on him. And then he just constantly getting better each week. Part of that, like I said, with practice, getting challenged every day in practice, not letting him slip off at anything. All right, he don't allow himself to slip off at anything. But just really the way he attacks the game for as young as he is, he's still a baby. And the way he does that is really impressive.
Yeah, and how much of an – I know the answer before I even ask the question, but how much of an onus are you putting on the mental side of things in that room with your entire group? You guys have played up to 8, 9 guys this year, and everybody steps in And it doesn't look to me like they screw up a lot. Like, it seems like everybody's consistently going in the right direction and picking up the right guy. Of course, you get beat every now and then, but the growth, like you just see new guys step in. This is one of my favorite runs of the year at UCF. Play that one again, Bailey. New guy stepping in at right guard, the pulls and the seam and the part of the Red Sea. I just talk about the mental side of the game and the preparation and how much pressure you're putting on these guys, but then how much you're teaching them too.
Yeah, I try to pride myself in that. As you just said, the answer already, man. You got to be smart to play this position. You can't just have a bunch of guys out there not knowing what's going on. So that's the first part of it. And then, we get on the board. We do, everything that we need to do to try to prepare them to not only be a great college player, but then a great NFL player. If they're lucky to get there, you know what I mean? So just trying to implement some of the things that I've learned along the way, especially on the mental side. Because if you don't know where you're going, you can't play fast, and you got to be able to play fast, especially in our system. So that's a big thing. And then having, like you said, 8 or 9 guys who can do it, and if I can get to 10 or 11 guys, I'll put them in too. As long as guys as long as they show me that they're ready to play mentally and they get out there and practice hard, you got a chance to play here at CU.
And that's the beauty of it, is open opportunity coaching, open opportunity for all the players. And that, look, I wanted to take that to the next couple of questions here. Coach Phil Lho, offensive line coach at the University of Colorado, has the bus balling, joining us here on 0 to 60. Coach, big thanks again. The defensive line, all right, the defensive line coaches, all right, it seems like you guys go to one-on-ones, and I know it's a big get-down, and there's a lot of chirping and great competition, and 9-on-7 is fun. Talk about the defensive line, man, and how much better they're making you guys. Iron sharpens iron, in my belief. And when you're coaching against Sapp and Lewis every day, and the competition and the juices are flowing, I love that Bucky gets it on tape as much as he does, because I just sit there and watch it. I'm like, oh, this is some good shit.
It's a lot of fun, man. It's just, how it is when you get into one-on-ones, and with those two guys, especially in Dancy, you might as well be playing in Miami or something, because they're talking the whole time. They can do one little good thing, and then everybody hooting and hollering. And I tell my guys, hey, you won that rep, dog. Like, but that's just a competition of it, you know what I mean? And I love that about it. It's fun every day. And like I said, Coach Prime let us mix it up. So, we'll get different periods in just with us on it, and things that have helped us. But the D-line, man, they press us every single day. They coming after it every single day. And, our goal here is to make practice harder than the game.
Amen.
There's a lot of times where you can look and say it's going to be a lot harder, because the way those guys come after us and the way we come after them, like you said, iron sharpens iron. And every day it's a great day of practice between the O-line and D-line for sure. They get us sometimes, we get them, but that good back and forth is what you need.
And you can tell in the games too, because everybody's playing fast, everybody's playing physical. Being there last week and being able to watch the interaction. The D-line is over congratulating the O-line as much as the O-line is over congratulating the D-line. It's just one big trench family, and that's really good to see. That's how you got a really tight team and a good unit up front, O-line and D-line wise. One more question for me, and I'll let Bailey ask a couple more, and then I'll wrap it up here, Coach. Shedeur Sanders, all right? Before I end on a couple of coaches questions about Coach Prime, Shedeur's special. Everybody knows he's a unicorn and the best player at his position in the draft. Just talk about the man. Talk about the leader. What you see on a daily basis, being the guy responsible, for Shedeur's ass and making sure that it stays clean. He 1 sack given up last week, like just absolutely balling at the position up front. You guys are taking a lot of pride in keeping him clean. Just talk about that, man, because your unit has gotten better and better and better each week.
Yeah, you talked about how talented he is, and everybody knows that. But we know that if we do our job and keep him clean, it's going to be hard for anyone. So he's a special talent, man, but he's even a better teammate. He's always with his linemen. He hangs out with them guys. They're going on vacations. They're doing everything. You got guys who will probably never take a snap with him at CU, and he's hanging out with them. That's how good of a teammate he is to his linemen. And that says a lot about him. So he's a special talent, obviously, but even a better teammate, great leader. He's going to be great at the next level. I'm excited to watch him there. And my goal is just to help him win every game of his college career, and starting with this one this week. So he's a special player. I'm happy to be able to coach the line that's protecting him, and he makes it a lot easier for us too because he's special.
No.
Bailey?
Let's stick on another talented player, Travis Hunter. I just want to get your thoughts. You see him in practice every day. Obviously, he's a freaking unicorn, unbelievable player, doing stuff we've never seen on the football field before. Your thoughts on Travis Hunter's play this season?
Yeah, unbelievable, man. I've never seen anything like it. I don't think too many people have. I mean, I've seen him drop one ball since I've been here. All right, and that was like something that nobody could have caught. And so, I mean, he's unbelievable. He's a special talent, man. Both sides of the ball, practices his ass off every day. He's the first one here. Great teammate as well. All he loves to do is play ball. I mean, he does a great job at that. So, I mean, it's crazy to have two guys that can be in New York for the Heisman. That's pretty rare. It's happened before, but to have two guys that can be in New York is special. And it's really good to be a part of it, and just want to do our job to help both of those guys.
Yeah, we've been talking about that a lot on the show, that at some point during the year, Shedeur and Travis are going to be competing for the Heisman Trophy while they're competing to win a Big 12 title. And you guys have the entire season in front of you now with 4 huge games in November. I wanted to kind of finish this interview and finish our talk here, Coach, today talking about Coach Prime. And 2 years ago, I was up there talking to the team. We were 1-11, and it was bad. It was bad, bro. Just there's no other way to put it. And hiring Coach Prime, I remember talking to the panel of all the donors and Bloom and Andre Gerard and Coach Rick George and all these other people that were on the call. And we remember Joel Klatt and a couple of guys saying, go after greatness, go hire greatness. Don't go hire comfort. And, Rick George obviously brought in Coach Prime, and what we've seen up to this point has been transformative, in my opinion. Gave you this opportunity this year. It seems like it's working out incredibly well for both sides, obviously. Just talk about what it's like working for Coach Prime and, how much, he's revolutionizing really this era of college football from a coaching perspective, and an acquisition of talent perspective, how to develop talent, playing a unicorn like Travis Hunter both ways. Some coaches would try and put him in a box. Coach Prime just was like, do you? What can't you do? So just elaborate on that a little bit here with Coach Prime.
Yeah, I mean, you said it when you said go after greatness, man. It's obviously that he represents greatness. I mean, he's got a gold jacket as a player. You've seen what he's done as a coach. Everything that he's told me, since the day I met him, he's carried through on and more. The discipline that he demands from the team, from the coaches, is second to none from any program that I've been at. The accountability level is there. He's an old school guy that I don't think most people on the outside looking in understand really what that means. But when I say that, I just mean that, when he tells you something, he's going to go by, he's going to do it, and then he's going to expect the same from you. So, he's an unbelievable coach, great guy to work for. I mean, it's been amazing working with him. I owe him forever for giving me this opportunity, and my job is just to carry out my part of it and make him successful, and we're all successful. But he's unbelievable, man. It's been an absolute pleasure, just being here with him every single day.
All right, last question here on 0 to 60. Coach, thanks for coming on the show and spending some of your Monday with us as you get, the 21st and 24th ranked Colorado Buffaloes ready to go to Lubbock. Lubbock they got a lot of pride down there that they're going to play hard. They're coming off a huge win in Ames, beating undefeated Iowa State. Just give me your breakdown of Texas Tech here a little bit right off the cuff. What Colorado Buffalo country is getting prepared for going down to Lubbock this week and playing a tough Red Raider team.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. You got your experience, been down there, played a few times, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. I know you did as well.
Exactly. It's a tough place to play at, right? And then also they play hard. They're well coached. They play hard. They're coming off a big win up at Iowa State on the road. So you're playing a tough team. And that's the main thing, man. They play hard. So we're going to have a great week of practice. We're going to have to set that tone in practice here starting this week every day, and then go down there and try and take care of business because it's going to be a tough game. The atmosphere is going to be great. It is what it is. It's Big 12 football, and it's going to be the next one. It's the biggest one because it's the next one. And, we've got to prepare this week for it, but it's going to be a good one for us.
Coach Phil Lho, offensive line coach, University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was an absolute pleasure having you on and talking some ball. Go down to Lubbock, kick some ass, and we will talk soon, my friend. I'll see you up at the Utah game for sure.
Man, thank you.
Later, brother. Give it up, Coach Lho.
Coach Phil Loadholt, thank you for joining. Man, Matt, that was great. Unbelievable. I can't thank Coach enough for joining. That was huge. And it's great to get the perspective at the beginning of the week. Now we're going to break down Colorado versus Texas Tech. Texas Tech comes off a huge win against Iowa State on the road, as Coach mentioned. Matt, your thoughts?
Look, the Texas Tech win at Iowa State, like Coach just said, is huge. We needed this. I mean, as Buffalo country, we needed K-State to lose. We needed Iowa State to lose. We needed BYU to lose. BYU had a bye, right?
I believe so. I don't think so.
They fucking won, or they had a bye.
Yeah.
Kansas State goes down to Houston. My man Jake Wiley plays right tackle for them. I was pretty pumped. I sent him about 4 or 5 thank yous. Like, hey, thanks, bro. They're getting better, so it was pretty cool to see them get a huge win. That's their biggest win in the Big 12 up to this point, so good for Houston. They hand Kansas State their second loss in conference. That puts KSU behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
When they no more fuck ups, and they need people to fuck up. So CU moving into the second spot because Iowa State looks like they're going to pull it out again. They score with a minute 20 left, and then Texas Tech goes down, scores, wins 23-22, and it's the same old story in Ames, this close. So. Look, man, this is all lining up because I don't see a world where Iowa State can beat Kansas State. Last game of the season, it may not mean a whole lot for Kansas State that day unless Oklahoma State can beat CU or some crazy shit happens.
Yep.
But, Kansas State, I think they beat Iowa State. So there's your next loss for Iowa State, and they played the last game of the season. So if I'm CU, just 1 week at a time, just like Coach just said, make sure that you're focusing on what you need to focus on now. Don't be focusing on shit down the road. CU takes care of business over the next 4, finishes 10-2. They're playing for the Big 12 title. And I would say that even if they lose the Big 12 title, they will find a way to keep them in the playoff because they're Colorado. And honestly, I think they can beat BYU. I think Colorado's the best team in the Big 12.
I agree.
So, dog, if they win the Big 12, you're a top 4 seed. You're the 4 seed in the playoff. Holy fucking shit. I don't even know what to say about that right now.
Yeah. Man, I mean,
the 4th seed you're the 4th ranked team.
Yeah.
So they could jump from ranked 11th to 4th just by winning the Big 12.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, I just know they get a bye. That's all I know is you win the conference, you get a bye, and you're automatically
another bye, and then they don't play the first or the bye weeks championship games are at neutral sites, right?
The bye week
1 through 4 play the neutral site. Everybody else plays at home. That's the kicker is if you get a home playoff game. But then the first 4 games are at bowl game sites, I think.
Let's see.
Yes, I will be in Boulder for the Utah game.
One thing I wanted to highlight as we continue talking about this, K-Stokes, I know we didn't get to this. Man, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see more traps. I know this question was for Coach Loadholt, but Coach K-Stokes, we appreciate the donation, man.
They are trapping a lot, actually. They're pulling the tackles and they're doing a really good job with that kind of shit.
True. Yeah. But we appreciate the super chat. Super chats are open. We got 1,700 people in here. To all 1,700 people in here, hit that like button, subscribe, and become a member of the Dungeon family for only $2.99. We appreciate you. Man, as we continue discussing this, the stars seem to have aligned for CU to get to that Big 12 championship. As long as they take care of business, they got 4 games, they got to do it. One thing I want to show, Coach Sapp, it's November in Boulder. Just wanted to show this video as we kick off previewing Colorado versus Texas Tech. Take a look here.
I told y'all someone that just come out to this thing, and it's insane. Another one of the mornings, I told y'all, with the snow. My first one. See, we cover good folks. Make sure you're right. Mountains all capped up good.
Yeah, it's November, Big Matt. Man, I can't wait for this Texas Tech game. Texas Tech beat Iowa State, and then also Houston took out K-State. So shout out Willie Fritz in Houston. Colorado's now ranked 21st in the AP Top 25, moving up a couple spots with a couple teams losing. They're actually ranked ahead of K-State now. Matt, your thoughts on that?
Good. I thought we'd move up. We didn't play, but we still won the bye week. Travis Hunter's all over college football doing his Heisman thing. Shedeur decided to take the week off and chill. I'm cool with that shit. He doesn't want to be in the limelight. Travis is the limelight, so it doesn't, it just kind of is what it is. That's a good picture of him and Joel. But look, Travis Hunter and Shedeur are both going to be in New York for the Heisman. Travis is going to win it. Everyone knows that, even Shedeur. That said, could Shedeur go for like 500 yards passing in the last 4 games and throw for? Yeah, he could each game and just fucking lace everyone and go win a Big 12 title and lace up BYU. Then maybe shit changes, but he's going to be throwing the ball to whom? Travis. So, everything is Heisman. I don't fucking know, man.
Well, speaking of Travis, I wanted to kind of show a video of Travis. He made the rounds, went on Fox and College Game Day, and he talked to Coach Saban. And Coach Saban asked Travis about how he approaches practice and playing as a two-way player, going both ways. And Travis had a good answer. Take a listen here.
You prepare every week to play both ways.
I try to get at least 10 hours of film, not including what we do at the school. So you got to watch a lot of film and practice. When you practice, it's got to be full speed. Nobody can stop you. I mean, Coach Fromm tried to stop me every day I go out there and practice, and I won't let him. Because
so you just split practice half the time on offense, half the time on
whatever
defense?
period we have, because he do a great job of letting us go ones versus twos. So if I'm going ones on offense, I'm playing against the twos on defense, but I'm playing 100% no matter who's in front of me, and I'm not going to get tired. So I just keep going and just be focused.
Yeah, that's what great competitors do.
Matt,
this guy's a fucking animal. He's such a beast, dude. Just an absolute G. Travis Hunter's makes me want to play football right goddamn now. I fucking agree. Everything he just said, my answer is yes. Fuck, Travis Hunter's such oh my god, dog. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, dog. Let's go play the fucking game right motherfucking now. Let's go. Fuck. Next question. Fuck.
Next question.
Holy shit, Travis, you bad motherfucker.
Well, another bye week activities. Coach Prime and Bucky went out on Coach Prime's big estate, and Coach Prime was driving a 4-wheeler, and we got some footage from it. Take a look here.
And you dirty.
I love it, dog. Fucking kids will be kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially being a big kid around your kids. Like, I'm a big kid around my boys, dog. Like, my son is my best friend, and both of them, they know that. So
Hold on, leave and join back, Big Matt.
Yeah.
Not experiencing technical difficulties, but it's nice to see Prime in his bye week. Enjoying time with Bucky, his son, and stuff. I believe Shedeur was in Vegas during this time, but it is nice to see Prime out there. It's obviously he's a kid at heart, just like Big Matt mentioned. But keep going, Big Matt.
So I'm gonna break my computer. I'm not fucking kidding. So, but yeah, like it's good that he's a kid at heart. It attracts a lot of good shit. Like, people like that. People like it when you can not take yourself so seriously. So, yeah, man, it's good to see Coach Prime having a lot of fun because he deserves it. Like, these are the roses, bro. Go enjoy it. So I saw that video and it made me laugh my ass off. So I thought I'd share it with everybody.
Yeah, no doubt. Me too. I saw that one well off. Very funny.
All the haters do hate the fact that we're having so much fun, though.
That's true.
Okay, you don't need to have it. I'm sorry that you're not having any fun at this point in the season, but we are.
Yeah.
I wish we could play Nebraska now, dog. We would fuck Nebraska up right now if we played them right now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Deshaun Foster and Biedemy get a huge win. UCLA.
That's
My boy Blake Lesnar's the kicker there. Shout out to them for a huge win. But yeah, I agree with you. I think if Colorado lined up and had a shot at Nebraska again, I think the result would be different than it was in week 2. And that's just development throughout the season of each team. I don't know. I think Shedeur's
blah blah blah. But at the same time, I think CU is pretty fucking good, bro. This is going to be a really fun November. So hold on to your asses.
No doubt. Well, we're going to pay some bills here. We're going to take a quick 2-minute commercial break. When we come back, we have a lot planned. It's going to be a huge show. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to preview Colorado versus Cincinnati. We're going to discuss, Jason Kelce.
Previews Colorado and Cincinnati.
Preview Colorado versus Texas Tech, excuse me. We're going to talk Jason Kelce spiking a soft fan who was yelling at him about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. We're going to discuss Saquon Barkley doing the most unbelievable play I've ever seen in my entire life, a reverse hurdle, which we'll show later on. We're going to discuss the UL Monroe offensive line coach. To me, it's a regular interaction, but yelling at his offensive lineman who was late getting off the field and what seemed to be some sort of substitution or something. We're going to discuss that and so much more. This is going to be a huge show. We appreciate all 1,800 people that are in here. We appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family for only $2.99. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Peace.
Whether it's offensive linemen as they work combos and double teams and also pass, pro, and punch, I think the unique physicality of this is outstanding. So much so that you can use it for your shield on punt team or as you rush in the shield. There's so many different ways that we're using it. We get better a little bit every single day, and I just wanted to say thank you because I hadn't ever thought of this, and when I saw it, it made total sense, and we're doing a great job with it. So thank you, man. Go Big Red. What this has done for us is it's allowed us to, because of the surface area, because of its firm nature, I can still strike against another player and have to use that punch just like you do on a sled. At the same time, have to time my punch because it could move. I can teach defensive linemen how to handle double teams because they can feel pressure. We can simulate contact in a safe environment in non-contact times because of this unique bag.
Welcome down here to the Lab 60 Football Academy, 60 Strength and Fitness. I am your owner and operator, Matt McChesney. I just wanted to let everybody know that 60 is now on Cameo. You can go on Cameo and request any tips for training, any offensive line, defensive line tips, recruiting tips. I get so many inquiries in my inbox on a daily basis about tips and can you look at my film and can you do this? Can you break down something for me? I'd love to. All right? It's like the Joker said, my man, right here. If you're good at something, never do it for free. So Cameo is now your bridge to 60 Football Academy. Go in, request what you want, tips, suggestions, recruiting, film, and we will make sure that you get the absolute best from the best. So check out 60 on Cameo at 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy.
And we're back, and Big Matt, Stanley Harris has arrived. Shout out to Stanley Harris.
Stanley!
We appreciate you. Man, Stanley Harris, 0 to 60 brought to you by Stanley Harris. Another big donation. Can't thank you enough, Stanley Harris. We appreciate you. You're helping the show grow, no doubt. Big Matt, let's get right into it. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of different topics to talk about, but let's go ahead and talk Colorado versus Texas Tech. This is a huge matchup for Colorado. Texas Tech comes off a huge win versus Iowa State. Colorado comes off the bye week. I want you to go ahead and just preview this game. What does Colorado got to do to take out Texas Tech? And go ahead and preview.
Well, look, we got the whole week to preview this game, so I'm not going to give away too much on Monday. But they need to do what we do. Texas Tech is playing CU. You know, it's their Super Bowl. It's going to be a packed house. Every recruit that wants to go see a game is lining up to see this one. So, yeah. I'm not going to give away too much on the Monday show on how to beat Texas Tech. I mean, look, I still have to finish watching the Iowa State game, all 22 again, but they're tough and they play hard. So, it's going to be a challenging game for sure. Lubbock is no cakewalk. It needs to be a business trip. That's what it needs to be. So I'll give everybody my Texas Tech breakdown as we get later in the week. But
we'll discuss that tomorrow and as we go on throughout the week. Shout out to Mike Bundy. We appreciate you with the donation. Nick does need new shoes.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Appreciate you, Mike Bundy. But let's keep talking here. Let's talk a little Colorado. Pat Shurmur, he was talking in an interview. He spoke on the difference of creating a game plan for Colorado versus in the NFL. Take a listen here.
Coach, time restraints. I'm just curious and kind of following up over those last two questions. What's the difference between creating a game plan for the NFL and for Saturdays?
Well, it's different, right? And it's going to have to be a different setting for me to really answer your question. Okay. We're probably going to have to sit down and I can take you through it. But in the NFL, because of the way the rosters are designed, I always really thought of it as it was 3 or 4 different games within the game. So in other words, you had first and second down, right? Then this animal called third down, where now that's a totally different game, third down. And then you have red zone. That's a totally different game. In the red zone, they're defending, you're attacking extremes. They either drop them all out or bring them all, right? So you're there. In third downs, a lot more man, a lot more exotic pass rush, so on. What I've found in college so far is there isn't quite as much of that. It's kind of like one fluid game. So as an example, you'll find teams that'll play the same coverage concepts on third down and in the red zone as they would on first and second down. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So with exceptions, don't get me wrong, you get more zero blitz in the red zone and so forth. Maybe a little more man on, so you call man beaters. But in the NFL, it's very distinct, very distinct. It's like I said, 3 games within a game. Here, it's just kind of one fluid game, and I think there's a reason for it. Teams play no huddle, right? And so you're lined up ready to go, and so you don't have the time in the huddle to organize all that stuff you might want to do. And so I think that's one big difference.
Matt, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. It just seems like a bunch of fucking rambling to me. What are your thoughts on it? You're the one that picked that video. Why don't you tell me your thoughts? I don't have a fucking clue.
Well, I just thought you'd have a perspective considering you've seen him coach in Denver, you've seen him coach in New York and all the other places he has, and now you see him.
Well, I don't know. This monster called third down. I think Pat Shurmur just took an edible and started talking to the fucking people at the press conference. Why don't you tell me how you feel about it, motherfucker? You're the one that came up with that long-ass goddamn fucking video of Pat Shurmur talking to the wall. How do you feel about it?
I figured you'd have a little bit more of a perspective on it, and I figured you'd have this kind of take. Yeah, he did. He does seem to ramble in this video. I do think he
next.
I did think he has a point though when he's talking about do you really think that pass rush in the NFL do they think they're doing less games in college versus the NFL, more exotic looks in the NFL? Do you think that's true?
I think Livingston throws some pretty exotic looks out there. Depends on your coach. If you have an NFL coach coaching in college, you're probably going to get more NFL concepts. If you have a college coach coaching in the NFL, you're probably going to get more college concepts.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So, some guys can do both. Some guys can't. I mean, let's be real. So, usually good college football coaches are not the best pro football coaches, but that's not always consistent. Pete Carroll won both, but Nick Saban couldn't. So what does that tell you?
That's very true. That's very true. Shout out to Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's a legend for winning a Super Bowl and a national championship, damn near 2 Super Bowls. Let's talk Jason Kelce. So
your best friend Russ decided to throw the fucking ball.
Yeah, we gotta let Marshawn was in an interview with Michael Robinson. He's like, we just gotta let it go. That's what it is.
I don't think the people in Seattle are gonna let it go. But good talk.
Yeah, I don't know. But let's talk Jason Kelce. So Jason Kelce slams the phone. He grabs it and slams it of a soft fan, as I will call it, who kind of questioned him, said some questionable words towards him about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I will just show you.
Questionable words. He called his brother like an F.
Yeah.
An F.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can't
yeah.
say on YouTube.
Hard
Like,
F.
yeah. And
Why is
Kelce,
he slamming his phone too? Fuck this guy. I'm surprised Kelce didn't beat the shit out of him.
I loved Kelce's response because I can't stand some of these. I mean, Matt, you know better than anybody how some of
These fucking little troll motherfuckers that walk up with the cell phones and start trying to get a reaction out of somebody that's actually done something with their life.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Kelce didn't beat the shit out of him, honestly. I'd be fucking this kid up bad if I was him. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll go to jail. But you're not going to disrespect me like this. Kelce has big-time restraint. I applaud him. But, you know, like slamming this dude's phone, not enough. And then the other guy that's just watching, filming, you're a piece of shit too. You're just as bad. All you guys everything's a fucking like, opportunity to get some film. Oh my God, this guy's in a stressful situation. Let's fucking get some tape. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Jason Kelce's response. I can't stand the type of people. I mean, the pull out your phone shit. That's this era, this generation. 2012.
I mean, look, I'm a social media whore. I put everything on it for a business perspective, football related.
Right, yeah, that's different though.
I'm not like chasing people around like, yo, you blew a tire. Ha 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 ha. How do you feel? How does that make you feel? Ha ha. Like there's this. I see this little motherfucker. And I don't know who he is, but he's on social media, and he's a little 5'3" little fucking bitch. He's got a really high voice, and he like fucks with people. He like goes around and like goes to Walgreens and shit, and like fucks with people behind him and like says stuff in their ear. I wish a motherfucker would, dog. I wish a motherfucker would come up to me. And
is he?
I don't know who he is.
Like,
he's a little bitch ass. Yeah,
tall, light cat.
No, but he could be one too. But I know you know the guy I'm talking about. It's more of it's a character, not just a person. Like there's many of them. I hate them.
Yes.
Like I wish a motherfucker would do something like that to me in the grocery store. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. I'm gonna be over in the corner fucking just cooking with 2 sticks in pure rage, bro. It is on.
Well, I don't know anyone dumb enough to do that shit.
I do. There's people everybody in the chat. You know what I'm talking about.
They'll do it in the chat, but they'll never fuck with you in person. That's
no, dog. Not the people in the chat fucking with me, you weirdo. They know the guy.
Well, yeah. I don't know exactly who you're talking about. I've seen it.
This goddamn confrontation.
Let me tell you something. The reason why I paused you on that, because the actual dude who invented that shit was whispers in your ear, who's fucking huge, is subscribed to this channel. True fact. His name's Salim. That's a very true fact. They
started whispering in the ear.
Like that prank, because that's like a big prank, and that's what they. Because it was the Nut Boys that did that shit. And
I'm so confused right now. You're telling me that a guy is subscribed to our show that invented whispering in people's ears?
That prank that you're talking about, that the little cat that you're mentioning does, that the dude who started that subscribed to this channel. So yeah, it's just interesting. They watch.
I don't know how do you invent? That's like inventing.
Not inventing it, but like kind of started that and blew it up on social media.
What, like fucking with people?
Yeah, in that specific way.
Well, fuck him too. That's a dick move. Don't do that shit.
Yeah,
I know who you are and shit, but that sucks. You shouldn't do that to people. It's fucked up.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, Big Matt. We have another topic here that I really want to get your opinion on. Coach JB discussed this morning at length, but ULM coach Cameron Blankenship. So it appears that there was a late substitution. Their minds about this.
Clamoring for this guy to get fired. He went back over there, put his headphones on, and kept coaching. Let's just fire everyone. And that's the Karen way of doing things.
I agree.
And you can be a male Karen or a female Karen, but they are in everyone else's business. Everyone should get fired. They're perfect, by the way. Male Karens and female Karens are perfect people. They've never made a mistake or yelled at anyone or raised their voice or, fuck the gardener or whatever. I feel like this moral high ground that people sit on is really, really just ridiculous to me. So if the coach wants him fired, he'll be fired. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Who cares? Like,
yeah, I agree.
They're at Louisiana Monroe. They were supposed to not win a game, and they're actually doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm sure they hugged it out afterwards, and everybody's fine. The only people that are offended are the fucking Karen on the sofa that should be sucking a dick instead of talking shit.
Yeah. The
Shut
school.
The fuck up.
The school. Monroe says,
come on.
Huh?
I'm so tired of the softness.
Yeah. No, I agree. And this is a social media era. As you said on JB's show, if there was no social media, we wouldn't fucking hear about this. I agree with you, and I think you make a point. Those who have played or coached are like, this is completely regular. Those who have not played are having an outcry. Like, you shouldn't talk to kids or men or whatever you want to call these. I mean, they're grown-ass men. At the end of the day.
He's a man until he's a kid. And when mommy says you're a kid and you need your back patted. I mean, dog, come on. Give me a break with this shit.
And the school, UM Monroe, says this behavior is unacceptable and not how ULM football conducts business. Among other things.
Look, does the coach need to calm down? Probably. Does the kid need to be on the right special teams package? Yes. Does the entire world need to just act like, stay in their lane on this one and just fuck off? Yeah. Who cares? It's fine. Other coaches yell and scream. Other coaches fucking get in fights. People get in fights up. So sometimes people lose their minds. They're not out there swinging on each other. Everything's going to be okay. Just because, some fucking guy who doesn't even play football or like football, or some housewife that doesn't play or like it, a Karen, just because they're offended doesn't mean everybody has to, jump on the offended train and appease them. I don't give a fuck if you're offended. Change the channel.
Yeah, exactly. 100% agree with you. I mean, I have no problem with it. That's football. I don't know if you don't like it, go play fucking tennis. I don't know. Let's move forward here. I want to show this play. This is probably the most unbelievable play from the weekend, probably ever. I've never seen this shit in my life. Saquon Barkley again. Unbelievable. Reverse hurdle against the Jaguars. What the hell, man? That's unbelievable. Big Matt, what are your thoughts?
I just don't understand. I don't understand what's happening. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, man.
Moving in reverse in slow motion while going in fast forward. I don't really know what to say. And then between this and Thursday night, Garrett Wilson had that fucking insane catch.
Yeah.
Jesus Lord, bro. Anybody in the chat ever seen anything like this? Anybody ever seen some shit like this before? I ain't never seen some shit like this before.
Yeah, me neither.
I played against some pretty goddamn good running backs in my day and some pretty good people and blocked for some pretty good ones. But God damn. Yeah. God damn, dog. Damn. I don't even know what to say about it no more. Just damn. I wish I could do some shit like that. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's a freak athleticism. Shout out to Saquon Barkley. I mean, I've never seen
fucking animal, dog.
Yeah, I've never seen him.
Giants, by the way, you should probably let him test free agency.
Yeah, they got problems. They lost to the Commanders. Jaden Daniels. Their Commanders are rolling. Commanders are really
good. Hey, did you see what the game in Germany is?
What's the game in Germany?
Giants and Panthers. That's a real barn burner. That game is going to kick ass, dog.
Oh, and it's in Germany. So what time does it kick off? 5 in the morning?
Fucking 9:30. I'm just saying the German people get the absolute worst fucking game we could give them. When they made this game on the schedule, they didn't think that maybe this one would suck.
No, they probably did. They're like, yeah.
Coach Young's going to have it figured out. And Daniel Dimes just got $45 million, so he's good.
Yeah, the Giants got problems, unfortunately, and Dable, they fall 2-7. Let's talk New Orleans.
I had a good time sleeping my way through Sunday yesterday because the games are the refs are too involved. I don't like it.
Exactly.
That's all I care about tonight.
Speaking of the Giants, I gotta say this: the Giants.
Ref.
Facts, and also I don't get the analytical play calling. Why are you going for 2 when you're down? Like I don't get it. The Giants go for 2 twice when they're down 14. They score. They go for 2. What's with that? I don't understand. They did it 2 times and then they lost by 5. So I just don't understand. It makes no sense to me. I don't get that shit.
It's dweeb football time. So did it work? Nope.
No. And you could have made it a 3-point game and actually won the damn thing if you
But
did.
I will say this. I'm only going for 2 because they won't let me go for 3. So
yeah. Well, here's something I wanted to ask you about. Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints. They lose to the Panthers, to the Carolina Panthers. And Michael Thomas calls out Derek Carr on Twitter, basically calling him out. A lot of different things that were said about that. Michael Thomas really went at him. And also this throw I wanted to get your take on. Derek Carr throwing it across Olave gets lit up. Unfortunately, his 5th concussion. Really, really tough for Olave. But, Matt, what are your thoughts on Derek Carr and just that throw?
I don't know what Olave did to him or who he's throwing. Like, that's who you're throwing the ball to. Like, Manute Bol? Holy shit. So, I don't know, bro. That's Carr. Carr looks like his time in New Orleans is up. Everybody's time in New Orleans is up. So,
sounds fine.
Now with Camaro, I'm begging the Broncos to trade for me, and that won't happen. Anybody that's got Sean Payton roots is calling Denver. Other than that, it's a straight rebuild there, and they're in cap hell. So I would anticipate the Saints being pretty bad for a couple of years here moving forward.
Yeah, and Dennis Allen gets fired again with Derek Carr at the helm again. I just don't understand it. That's tough. Yeah, New Orleans got some problems. Carolina with a big win. I don't know. Both teams struggling though. Another team that let's move back to college, and USC and Lincoln Riley lose to the Washington Huskies and Jed Fish. Interesting. And Lincoln Riley's kind of asked post game about. It's Lincoln Riley. He was asked post game just about how he believes that USC is still competitive despite losing once again. Take a listen here.
Well, number one, we've had a chance to win every single game in the fourth quarter we've played, and we've played far and away the most difficult schedule that we've played in the 3 years that I've been here. Obviously defensively, no shit, right? Look at it, look at the numbers, look at everything. That's pretty easy to pick out.
I can't hear this fucking guy at all.
Teams wise, we got some of the best special.
Yeah, but he basically states how defensively, how they played their toughest schedule yet, defensively how they've improved. And what are your thoughts on that? And should USC fire Lincoln Riley after this season?
No, they're not going to fire him. He'll leave before they fire him. That's his MO. SC went to the Big Ten. Good luck. Oklahoma going to the SEC. Good luck. I hope you know what you signed up for. You went from running a conference to just being a footnote in it. Ask Nebraska how that went. Right. So ask DU how it went. Fuck, now that we're back in the Big 12, we're already competing for the conference title again, and we've been back for a fucking year. So, sometimes your old stomping grounds are just your stomping grounds. So, look, dude, I don't know what's going to happen at SC. I know they've lost a ton of one-score games, and that sucks. Last year, CU lost 6 one-score games. So they may be a year away. They might be a quarterback away. I don't know. But, the Big Ten is not going to be gracious to SC. That's been a Rose Bowl rival forever, so everyone hates them. So anytime you can get a win over SC, that's a notch in your belt for a lot of those programs. So I don't know. SC's probably in trouble going to the Big Ten. Although UCLA had a big win, but again, Nebraska's Jekyll and Hyde big time.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Lincoln Riley's buyout is ridiculous. He's getting paid a lot of money, but also they can make, if they really want him out of there, they can make it happen in the snap of a finger. So I think it's a double-edged sword there. I think they're struggling. Yeah, like you said, heading into that Big Ten. I don't know. They're defensively they're improved, but Lincoln Riley offensive, I don't know. They just can't get it done when it comes to late game situations. You see, as you mentioned. So I don't know. I'd like to think that he's done, but I think because of the money situation, they can't. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm at with it. Another coach I want to ask you about, James Franklin. James Franklin and Penn State fall to Ohio State. James Franklin is now 1-13 versus top 10 opponents since he's been at Penn State. What are your thoughts on that game? Just kind of how it played out. I mean, they get to the goal line, they run a play where they pull in the tackle from the slot 3 straight times. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, big man?
Penn State can't beat Ohio State. That's the thought. They beat everybody else. They'll beat Michigan this year. They'll make the playoff, but hopefully they don't have to play fucking Ohio State again. So, look, it's just their bugaboo, bro. They can't get over this hump, and Franklin can't get over this hump. So you either get rid of Franklin or you figure out a way to get over the hump. And very rarely do you go get rid of a coach that constantly has you in the top 5 and has you in Rose Bowls and now in play. They're going to be in the playoff every fucking year because they're always a top 12 team. So do you get rid of him because of one game? Because that's the way it is in the Big Ten with Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. If you can't win a game in those out of those 3, then you're never going to be able to play for what you want. Mm-hmm. So, Penn State's always the third wheel in that conference. They'll beat Michigan this year, but can they beat Michigan moving forward every year? And they can't beat Ohio State to save their fucking life. So, man, they got to figure that shit out.
True. And I think one thing, it's going to be interesting with the new playoff. If you think about it, if we look back and you had the 12-team playoff the last 10 years, how many years would Penn State have been in? Exactly. So it's just something to think about with that. I think if they go in and get, if they play well in the playoff, some of the Franklin doubters may be silenced, but if they go in and lose to another big time opponent like Ohio State, then I think a lot of people are going to be calling for James Franklin to head out there. So it'll be interesting with them for sure. Let's talk a little NFL again. Broncos lose big to the Ravens. Just your thoughts on that game real quick before we get out of here.
The Broncos were atrocious. That 41-10, I don't care where you are, that's a beatdown. So I was worried about this because they've beaten up on some really bad football teams. Denver's again 8-9, 9-8. We'll see if they can get the 7 seed. They go to Kansas City on Sunday, so that's probably another loss. That puts them at 5-5. So, Atlanta comes into town after that, and Kirk Cousins is on a hot streak and playing really well. So it's as much as you can expect from a rookie quarterback is the fucking wave that they're on. Right? They're up for 2 weeks, they're down for a week. They're up for 2 weeks, they're down for a week. So you're just hoping that they can beat the bad teams and then compete against the good ones. But they haven't shown that they got beat up by the Chargers. They got, beat up by Baltimore. They've had some real struggles against quality football teams. And then, they've beaten up on bad teams. So, Pittsburgh came in and beat the shit out of them. So it's at some point you need Denver to win a game they're not supposed to win to prove to you that they can actually do it. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be this year or not.
Yeah, tough loss for Denver. I agree. It did not play well.
Baltimore is fucking real, though, dog. Baltimore.
Derrick Henry's rolling. Lamar played really, really well.
It might be more Baltimore doing what they do rather than just Denver. Denver just was lined up against them.
Yeah, you might have a point there.
And they were mad as fuck, too, because they played shitty against Cleveland and didn't have game plan on Jameis. And you saw what happened when Jameis gets game planned against. He throws 3 picks rather than 3 touchdowns. So
Chargers shut him down.
Yeah. So it's Baltimore is an elite football team that if I'm the Ravens and a guy like Max Crosby is available, I'm doing everything humanly fucking possible to trade for that guy and make sure that I get to the Super Bowl. Can you imagine Max Crosby on that fucking defense? Yeah, with all those fucking dudes and
you don't think Max Crosby would be traded if you were to be traded? You think he wouldn't go to Detroit? I would say Detroit, 100%. I think if they do trade,
Baltimore is probably going to be the Super Bowl favorite pick.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple. I don't know. The Chiefs were playing really damn well, so I don't know.
The Chiefs are not well, actually.
They're winning. They win. They find a way to win. Defensively, they play really fucking well. And I think that they gave last year, I think that they shut down Baltimore for an entire half defensively. That's credit to Spagnuolo. So that's why I'm like, can the Ravens get over that hump to get to a Super Bowl? Something to think about.
Yeah, we'll see.
No doubt. Well, let's talk Monday Night Football tonight. Last thing before we get out of here. Bucks Chiefs. Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites in Arrowhead. Big game tonight. Baker versus Mahomes. Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes quarterback battle tonight. What are you looking to see out of this game tonight? What do you think is going to happen? Your thoughts?
I like this matchup. I love watching Baker and Mahomes, and they've got history, and it's an old Big 12 matchup. I think there's going to be points scored in a lot of them. I think that Mahomes will kind of get off the schneid as don't be surprised if he goes for 315 and 4 touchdowns. So, and I don't be surprised if Mayfield goes for like 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. I just have a feeling that's kind of night it's going to be. All that said, Kansas City probably wins at home because you're playing the refs and the Chiefs. So I know everybody thinks that Kansas City is good, and they are. They're the best team in the West, and they're going to get a lot of calls. But I don't know, man. They'll probably go undefeated and win it all and do it very average and look really average, but win every week. It's fucking weird.
It is weird. That is true. Credit to Andy Reid and the coaching staff for sure. If you were a betting man, what are your thoughts? 9.5-point favorites at home.
I'd take the points there for sure. I don't think Tampa's going to get blown out.
I agree. And Chiefs are notorious for not covering any spreads, especially big spreads. And I like this Bucks team. I don't think they're as bad as the spread would indicate for sure. I mean, Chiefs.
I know Goodwin and Evans are out, but it just gives opportunity to other guys.
They have weapons down there. They have Trey Palmer and Kate Otten. He played at Washington. Like, they got weapons down there for sure. 2 good running backs. I don't know if Bucky Irving's playing or not, but they got Rashad White too, another good back. I mean, defensive line. I mean, defenses. They're all right this year. I mean, they have a solid defensive line, 2 solid edge rushers. We'll see. Right. I'm excited to see it. I'll watch. If I had to guess, Chiefs probably pull it out. Probably like a field goal game. I don't think it's going to be 10-point spread. No way Chiefs cover. So that's my thoughts. But man, Big Mac. Great show. We had Colorado offensive line coach Phil Lho on the show. Great interview. Can't thank him enough for joining. It's all 1,600 people in here. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family here at 0 to 60. Yes, they are. Any closing words before we get out of here?
Man, Mount Vista finished 10-0.
Congrats.
First conference championship in school history.
Yep.
In 10 games, we gave up no sacks. We had the most sacks in school history on defense. And I coached the O&D line, so I'm very proud of that. We averaged 55 points a game. We gave up 6.5 points a game. We're playing at the highest level here, 5A football. We got seeded in the 2 seed. We're going to go on a roll and see if we can meet Creek in the final and see what we can see. So it's ring season, bitch, and we got a month to go get it. So it's going to be a good November for the Buffs. It's going to be a good November for the Golden Eagles. Your boy's going to get a ring. Your boys are going to get a ring. Things are looking up, bitch. So enjoy your Monday. Big thanks to Coach Loadholt. We'll keep you posted on guests the rest of the week. Still waiting to hear from Bucky and a couple other people. But yeah, this is a big week. So Everybody be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and we're rolling.
We're rolling. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.